You can join our TerrainFest over the next 3 months by sharing your terrain project in the OnTableTop project system, and you could be in with a chance of winning this massive voucher from Wayland Games. To find out more, click the link in the description. Now go make something epic.
Hello everyone, it's Friday night and it is time for the Weekender once again. We've another packed show for you this week, filled with all the tastiest parts of the hobby meal from along the last 7 days, as we check out 15 and 28mm early war for World War II. We check out what's happening with Darkwater and Warhammer Quest, and delve into the trenches for some interesting crusades. On top of that, we also have a prize. £50 from Wayland Games can be yours if you pop a comment below this video on either OnTabletop.com or on the video on YouTube. Now, sit back, relax, because your weekend starts here. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Weekender. I'm joined by Ben and Justin.
Hello.
Wah, wah, wah. Sound the horns.
The beacons are lit. Ben calls for aid.
Yeah. Although that was done with a red arrow in the actual books, but never mind. Yeah, so
doesn't look as good.
Sorry to spoil that epic moment for you, but yeah. No.
Can't have everything, I suppose, can you?
No.
Can't even have that. We can't have a TerrainFest, though.
We can.
Festival of Terrain.
Yes.
It has kicked off. You'll be able
Kicked
to
off
get
weeks
involved
ago
with
if you were
this.
paying attention, people.
Well, that's true, yes. But now it is officially a thing, and we can confirm that there is actually a lovely prize, thanks to the folks at Wayland Games. So if you're going to get involved in that, there is the chance to win that epic, once again, £300 voucher that will allow you to buy pretty much all the terrain you'd ever need, or lots of models, just for taking part in this. So if you are going to be diving in and taking part in TerrainFest, you can literally build anything. You can 3D print stuff, you can scratch build, you can build stuff using plastic kits, dive in and do whatever the hell you want, build big, awesome terrain and have some fun. As we've talked about, it's not a popularity contest, so it's not about who gets the most votes or anything like that. Me and Jerry are going to be diving in and having a look at all the projects towards the end of the contest, sort of like springtime next year. We'll check them all out, see which one is the coolest, in our opinion.
I have an idea.
And that will be the winner of that big, big bundle of goodies. So,
yes.
For £300.
Build room,
Yeah.
shame light.
Well, we do already have people doing that. So maybe
true.
Ewok Kebab, carry on, maybe do some more stuff for TerrainFest, but there we go.
New
So, yes,
district.
big £300 voucher, dive in, make terrain, have some fun in the project system. All of the information is in the video we've put out as well. So
Yes.
So yes.
Here's a top tip. Sainsbury's Spiral Ice Lollies. They come with lovely round
Dial.
wooden sticks, which are
Dowie
approximately
dowels.
6 mil. And
Log
probably
cabins?
around about, I'm going to say 15 centimeters long. They're ideal for doing post work for anything.
There we go.
I'd get 5 in a pack for like 95p. They've become my go-to lollipop of choice.
How many lollipops are you eating today, mate?
One
The
after my
ultimate
dinner.
brain freeze. Gah!
One after my dinner. But
Or
I'm
do
doing
you
it
just
for
set them
weeks.
out and let them melt and watch children cry?
No, again, still, there are children starving in America. Can't leave food out.
Ooh, shot fired.
I hear Ethiopia's running
There
a
you go.
concert for them soon.
Top tip. There you go. So yeah, very cool.
Get your lollipops. Get your tree built. Build me a brock. All right. Shall we take a look at some news?
Coming to you from the center of Northwestern Europe. Covering board games, war games, card games, and all that you love. It's the news.
All right, then. We're going to be kicking things off with a bit of this. Oracle. Better late than never. Look at my wrist.
Well, to kick off the news, the guys at Battlefront are returning to the beginning, to the long ago, to the start of World War II. So we are seeing a new book, Blitzkrieg, to bring us through the invasion of France in 1940. So this is going to cover everything through Dunkirk, which should be lots and lots of fun. So if you like the old school, vehicles, equipment and stuff, you like exploring that part of history, fan-dabby-doozy, fantastic. We're also going to be seeing 5 new boxes to get you into the game. So our first one is the 2-player set, the Maginot Line, featuring our German forces and our French forces. From that, we're actually getting quite a bit in there. So for our German side, we're getting 4 Panzer IIIs, 3 Panzer IIs, 2 3.7mm gun teams. So nice, attacky, heavy enough. French forces, we're getting 5 S-35 tanks, 3 H-39 tanks, and a motor fusilier platoon. So
you didn't fancy saying the names of those tanks then, there, Justin?
I don't want to annoy the French, because let's be honest, Ben, at this point in history, they were known as double hard bastards who had never lost a war.
Yeah.
But they lost a few. They fought in quite a lot too. That's good.
Sorry. Carry on.
On the other side of it, we obviously have the Dunkirk box, which is going to be our Germans versus our Brits. So this is the heroic defense, the heroic retreat, shall we say. German forces for this one, we have a motor rifle company HQ, 2 motorized rifle platoons, and a couple of Stugs. I didn't think the Stugs were that old.
Stug.
There you go. Yeah.
These are the 3 Bs. They look like a turtle. They've got the curved top to them. Well, I say curved, multiple angled panels.
Yeah.
The Stug 4 was the later one, which is flat. That'd be the one you're familiar with.
There you go.
All right.
The more you know.
Yeah. And British side, we're getting 5 A-13s, 3 light Mark VIC tanks, a couple of 2-pounder gun teams, and a rifle platoon. Mark 4?
4C.
Okay.
V.
Okay. I was never good with Roman numerals.
Mark 6 it'll be for that one. But yeah, it's not VI, it's Roman.
Yeah.
Just look up there,
so
got an A-13.
Okay. I mean, this is the point of the war where, you've moved past what World War I was thinking and those initial ideas of what an armored vehicle and what warfare was going to evolve into. So this is highly experimental at this point in history. To figure out, we can put a turret on that. That'll be great. We don't have to turn the entire thing.
I'm really liking both of those starter sets. I hope they're not done in the same style as they've been doing the Checkpoint Charlie ones, where they're kind of limited. I hope they're kind of available for the majority of that run, if not forever. Because the early war has been very, very neglected in Flames of War. And so having those is great. And especially the French too. So it'd be nice to see the French actually getting a run out properly.
I mean, the French were pretty advanced on some of their kit that they had. They were pretty damn scary. It's just, they went, oh no, we have the Maginot Line. No one's getting through that. Hello, Ardennes. Whee!
Yeah. Alas, the Germans were quicker.
Yeah.
I mean, and fueled by very yummy Moorish chocolate.
But a lot of their tanks were developed in World War One. It just happened that they decided to go with a different tactical doctrine from British and Germans. So the Sumas and the like were leftover remnants from there. So they feel like they're advanced, but they weren't. They were just ahead of their time in World War One, but slightly behind the path when World War Two. They were slow.
There was one I found out. During World War One, the Americans actually had the BAR. They just never deployed it because they were scared that the Germans would lay their hands on it, which is why the Americans were laid up with a seriously crappy Shona. Trench warfare with a magazine with the sides cut out in mud and blood. That's who thought of that. Alongside our two-player starter sets, we're also going to be seeing individual starter sets for the nations. So the Germans will get one, the French will get one, and the Brits will get one. These are limited, you're saying? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
But again, this is something that the guys at Flames of War and Battlefront are really good at, is that initial dig in to get you started. You get a nice big chunky box with enough in there to really get you going.
All plastic.
Yeah, so they're going to be all plastic.
Mhm.
So you'll be able to dive in and get all of those. You've got the German light tank company, the British rifle company, and the French tank company as well there, which is pretty awesome. So, and again, a nice entry point for the French. Again, who I think deserve a little bit more attention. Obviously, it all comes a bit murky later on in World War II. And so it's a little bit hard to represent them on the tabletop, I suppose, unless you're doing them as resistance fighters, I guess, and things like that.
Well, I mean, whenever you get into later war periods, you always think, oh, it's the Allies, and they're all using essentially American equipment because America was just outproducing everything.
Yeah. I just think it's going to be really fascinating seeing people playing out some of those early things. So like Dunkirk is going to be fascinating because you'll have very different styles of scenarios that you play where you're not necessarily just on the offensive, unless you play the Germans, I suppose. But you're going to be trying that sort of rear guard action, sort of falling back through scenarios, pushing back towards the beach and that kind of thing. Because if you remember the film Dunkirk, the fighting in the streets of the town and things like that would be really fun to see with this kind of blockade set up by the French and that kind of stuff, watching over the Brits as they try and pull back, German vehicles and things moving through the outskirts and that kind of stuff. I think that'd be really fascinating to see done as a table and a game itself.
And
cool.
If it's a period of history you're interested in, there are some fantastic documentaries out there just to, sit and watch and actually, dive into it. So there's a lot of material there for you.
Are you telling me that Dunkirk wasn't a documentary? I think it was.
Ben, I tell you what, get a postcard, write to Tom Hardy and ask him.
Yeah. I think you'll find Harry Styles was indeed in World War One. So. Also, Tom Hardy plays a badass in that film. He's so good.
Yeah. Honestly, the first time I watched it, I got really confused with the time compression. Going from 1 day to 1 hour to whatever.
Well, it is a Christopher Nolan film, so
but
at least no one mumbles in that film, which is something that he always does.
Yeah, although I tell you this, John hated some of the long shots of Normandy because you could see the modern parts of Normandy in the way background.
Oh well. No way about that.
He was like, no, that's wrong.
There's a Greg's over there. Anyway.
So all those sets are due in February.
Sorry.
I'll drag us back, so coming out kicking and screaming.
Yes.
I don't care about Dunkirk. I've not seen it. February time. They're originally supposed to be out this year, you see, because they put out a video in, I'm going to say it was June, it might have been July, saying it was delayed.
Yeah.
So finally got their production back up and running. So if you want to, I'm assuming the pre-orders won't be far away. And they've already said Barbarossa is coming.
Ooh. They have, they teased it. They said, we've secret code named this Barbarossa. Okay, so you do Barbarossa.
So it's Barbarossa. Okay.
On that timescale, just hold your Christmas money a little bit longer and you can dig right in.
Yeah. Oh, well, very cool. Probably up for pre-orders.
Lovely stuff.
Dive in then. And
I'm sure.
Fill your boots with that. I'm interested to see what their plastics are like. I have A13/A15s from the Plastic Soldier Company. It was a dual kit that allowed you to make several variants for doing desert war stuff. Yeah. Because they're very good for desert as well. But it's been getting the Plastic Soldier stuff in 15 has been a pain in the backside for quite some time now. So nice to see the Battlefront are finally.
This will be a welcome addition then.
Yeah,
fair.
Yeah. Got to wait a good long time. And don't worry, for fans of the ridiculous, the Tog is back. Choo choo, I'm a Tog.
Why? Who thought you were a good idea? Why do you exist?
Well, we'll tell you who thought it was a good idea. The old guys, hence the name. Let's get some people back from the previous war. They shall name our tag after themselves. Anyway, enough of that. On to funner things from the wonderful world of the Viking Age, which everybody much prefers.
Yes.
And Things in the Basement have been out and about at the shows in America and showing off a big bundle of Viking fun for 28 mil terrain. This is a range of MDF stuff from Things from the Basement. There are some 3D printed things if you're in the Americas and want to get those. They're Ian Lovecraft's bits and pieces from his last Kickstarter. We'll have a look at those in a moment, probably. But if you're in UK or Europe, you can pick them up via Sally Forth. I think Ian does his stuff through Sally Forth. So we're just focusing purely on the MDF buildings. There's a variety of longhouses, some with various sort of little eccentricities, like the longer slanted roof on this side to account for terrible weather, or the little sort of A-frame storage
Little
area
annex type thing.
Yeah, towards the side, to fill it with whatever Vikings fill their annexes with.
I mean, that's clearly for when you fall out with a wife.
But they're a nice set of timber frame buildings with a quite attractive bit of additional
engraving work
on the front. Design work, on them. Yeah. Each one is named after I suppose the head mount, or whatever you want to call it, up there. So you've got dragon, eagle, bear. It's just a nice little sort of design aesthetic for your Viking village. They also have a host of other sort of scattered terrain. So you have a pig pen, or it could be a chicken coop as well, I suppose. Equal opportunity here. A well, a little sort of cart for shipping your dead monks around the place in and out of your A-frame building. Well, that's you put them in there, and then when they die, you put them on that, and then take them to the well, toss them down it. This is the life cycle of a monk. But it's beautiful stuff once again, from things from the basement.
It's lovely.
Really nice, accessible bits of kit. And these days, with people playing more and more 28mm Dark Age skirmishy stuff, obviously pillage is a big one as well. Being able to get into the buildings, carve people up like a donut, steal all their shit, and then get out of dodge. It's very important. Things like the tables and benches are more MDF work, but then you can see these are some of the 3D printed parts from E and stuff. So they'll be FDM printed. The fact they do all flavors of boat, from the big Drakkar down to the little Njar, which is very, very wide and narrow.
And the ship under construction as well.
The ship under construction is one of my favorites, But like I said, you can grab those from Sally Forth if you missed out on the Kickstarter. But it's cracking stuff. Assembly instructions you download from the site if you're unaware, which means you can just go into download instructions, and the detail in there is quite nice because it goes through the whole kit and caboodle, up to and including explaining if you run into any difficulties, just to email him and he'll answer it. Because even after designing it and then doing the build guide, people may still run into problems here and there with things and go, I'm just not getting this, or I've run into an issue. What is it? The one thing I will point out, which you can't really see. No, you can. You can sort of see it there. Because I was trying to work out what was going on with this, and it looks like he's used paper. And he has.
I think it is crepe paper, I think.
It's crepe paper. In lieu of teddy bear fur or whatever else thatching on it. So that's a nice little touch. Just
adds a little bit of extra texture in there.
Just to fold it
breaks
on.
up the flatness.
And it's easy to actually put it on as well compared to some of the other things. Although I still quite like skinning a teddy bear. Hang it by its ankles.
Sorry, Paddington.
Dress it down.
The thing that I was really impressed when it came to these buildings was I've very rarely seen that kind of long roof styled building done in either MDF or plastic or whatever. They all tend to be sort of missing that extra bit of length on the side of the buildings, but to have that in for that kind of bad weather style effect, I think is a really nice touch.
Yeah,
it makes it very different to everything else out there. So
also, when you're setting your village up, depending on the prevailing winds, you'll have these at one side to take the brunt of the storm, and then when it gets to the far side where it's a bit more reasonable, that's where your elderly people can live, where they're not having to worry about the chill so madly. It's all about the community that you form. So like I say, these came out, I think the full range was unleashed at Fallen a couple of weeks ago. So they're all up there if you want to pick them up now for things from the basement, especially if you plan on doing some pillaging, because like you can see, you can get in and out of the buildings. So when you're trying to carry off,
do not glue the roofs.
Never glue the roofs on. It's important you be able to get in, flip over some tables, and steal some monks. What about the monkage these days? It's very important.
Very nice stuff.
Yes. Where to next, Ben? Where are you taking me in the wonderful world?
So sticking in the Dark Ages, but an earlier period of the Dark Ages, more ancient, I suppose you'd say. Although, of course, people don't call it the Dark Ages anymore.
I do, because it really annoys them.
Yeah. Early medieval. So yes, this is a section of warbands that have expanded from the folks at Victrix for use in your Dark Age wargames. So they had previously talked about doing a set of early Saxons and sort of standard late Romans for that kind of period that sort of covers the fall of the Roman Empire, the pulling back of the Romans from Britain and that kind of thing across the continent back to their homeland, and the invasion of the Saxons as well. But of course, what they've done, as you can see here, is they've added in 2 more warbands into this selection. So you've now got 4 to choose from. So you can now also play around with the Britons/Arthurians alongside the Goths as well. So each of these sets comes with a mixture of between 30 to 36 miniatures per set. So you're going to get a good, healthy amount of them to play around with, perfectly aligned for pillage. Although I don't believe that pillage actually has rules for running early Dark Ages stuff yet. I assume
Not
maybe they're
yet,
looking forward to like a supplement or something, perhaps?
There is a supplement coming, yes.
There we go. So it's all preparing for that, so you can get in before the book comes, or the supplement, or the PDF lands, or whatever. So yes, between 30 and 36 miniatures per set, all done using a variety of the existing Victrix sprues for the sort of late Romans, the early Saxons, and of course the Goth stuff as well. So you have a variety of different weapons in there, various heads and that kind of thing. A lot of them use very similar sprues anyway, but it just comes down to effectively how you arm or armor your individuals, sort of going with some more of the sort of Gothic style designs for the Goths, obviously with their helmets and that kind of stuff is quite helpful, and sort of going with different weapon options. But then the thing that really makes these pop is adding on those new little big man transfers to the shields. So alongside each of these warband sets, they have done a set of transfer sheets to go along them. So even though you might be using a same set of sprues for building something like the late Romans or the Britons/Arthurian stuff, depending on the transfers that you use, you can immediately make them pop and look exactly as you'd imagine they should do for their particular setting or their feel or their nation or whatever on the tabletop, which is quite cool. Variety of sort of infantry and cavalry in there, because they've got that kind of full cavalry thing going on in there. It is very tuned towards pillage. That kind of fits quite nicely with that. But obviously with these plastic sets, you've pretty much got everything you'd need to build all of your rank and file alongside your characters and everything there as well. Also pretty nailed on for doing things like Saga as well. Also a great starting point for pretty much any Dark Age game, to be honest. But the Victrix plastics, as we've looked at in the past, we've done unboxings and all sorts of different things on their range. Absolutely gorgeous. And they've done a really nice job of sort of creating a really nice mix and match, kit bashable, convertible set of miniatures for you to play around with here. Very, very tempted by the Britons/Arthurians. Absolutely love the look of those guys. I like the addition of all the sort of cloaks and things in there as well. And that kind of cast off Roman equipment that they've picked up to start using to try and battle the Saxons and all that kind of thing. It's going to be very cool. Also tempted by the early Saxons, Beowulfy type stuff would be quite nice. Or maybe I get both. Who knows?
We'll give you an opponent.
You only need
fight.
a handful of models to play pillage anyway, don't you?
We'll just see you at Salute next year, Ben, going shiny, 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 shiny. Going full look goblin.
Yeah.
I mean, it is one of those things. But if you are going to be doing it, I suppose you do want to be able to put 2 forces down on the table.
Yes.
Anglo-Saxons
so you don't have to convince a friend to buy in.
So you do already have the Anglo-Saxons.
Yeah. I suppose so you could use the early Saxons as Anglo-Saxons for a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah,
I mean, pointy stick is pointy stick.
Well, I mean, if you're going to go that far, you could do them all in that regards. But, yeah. I think I've seen that the supplement's being worked on already by, I want to say his name's Guillaume. The writer.
Yeah, the guy who originally did it in
French, yes.
Very cool.
But if it's not coming as an actual supplement, it may come as PDFs because they've already done 2 or 3 PDF lists.
Carolingians and Franks, was it?
Oh, worse than that.
Or Russ. That's
the one.
Yeah.
Everybody's favourite. They have the square hills. You can't trust them. Not one bit of it. But yeah, cracking looking set of stuff. Say they are nailed on for pillage, so you may find some of the unit sizes are a bit small for some other games. But as you say, as a starting group, starting warband for anything goes, you can dip into it very easily just via one quick box, and off you tot. And it's mostly going to be the armored / leader types that are going to really be the varying bodies in there. So you don't really have to mess around too much.
Extra hairy heads for the Britons, and away you go. Find all the Jerry heads, and you've got your.
I'm going to have to reshare Viking Eye for the Saxon guy.
Right. I'm confused. I'm scared.
Good.
Take me away to Kickstarter, Ben.
Did you win one of our prizes? Find out on our prize claim center over at OnTableTop.com. Here we list all our previous prizes and those who have won. If you see your username, fill out the form to claim your prize. All prizes must be claimed within 30 days.
So you found some Disciples of Tet'o? Now, that's a crisp here, Ben.
Oh, I am happy, man.
I would be worrying about putting your hand into a bag of potatoes after this, then, just in case.
Well, Jerry, question: North or South? They are different.
South. Yeah, they are.
Fair.
Only
Fair.
the original.
Good man.
So yes, this is the Disciples of Tet'o, not Tato, I suppose, but this is by the folks at DakkaDakka.Store. Once again, they are back on Kickstarter, expanding their range of alternative miniatures for a variety of different games. In this case, they have designed a set of figures that are absolutely perfect for you to be using in your Trench Crusade games. So they've sort of jumped on that and sort of creating some fascinating things for this one. So they are effectively used as a Heretic Legion warband in the game, but they have obviously gone down the route of adding in a few quirky, weird, and different additions to the sort of Trench Crusade mythos, being the operative word. In this case, they have obviously gone down the Lovecraftian Cthulhu route. The sort of background to the Disciples of Tet'o is that they sort of hang around in the depths and the oceans and the sort of the fetid corners of port cities, and they look to try and drag mortals down into the depths to either use them as sacrifices or to turn into spawn for their own armies in the name of Tet'o itself. Because even though this might be a war between heaven and hell on the battlefields and the trenches of Europe and beyond, down in the depths, other things have awoken to try and take advantage of that, which I think is really awesome.
I can understand why they're annoyed, because all effluent flows downhill.
Well, exactly, yeah.
So something has been flowing and they're not happy. So honestly, I'm okay with these guys. Their homeland is being polluted by all this war and nastiness up top. They're peacekeepers. They're just trying to make everything better. Yeah. They're just trying to protect their homes. I am fine with this.
This is what happens when you do this, Thames Water. So, but yeah, so getting involved in this campaign, you can either go down the route of digital files or you can get physical miniatures as part of this, which is also very cool. So the digital files will be provided by the folks at DakkaDakka, and then the physical miniatures, you'll be able to get them through Only Games, who will be doing the production of those after the Kickstarter has ended. They already do the Trench Crusade stuff in physical format anyway, so anything that came out through the original Trench Crusade Kickstarter, they have done. I've seen some of their minis. Quality's pretty good. Not 10 out of 10, but sort of close enough. So if you're interested in getting those, that's the kind of quality you're looking at. But there's lots and lots of different ways for you to dive in and get loads of miniatures to build up your warbands. They do this thing that DakkaDakka have done quite a lot with their campaigns, where they have, especially for the sort of rank and file, either build kits, which are sort of customizable and you can kit bash and that kind of thing. So you can play around with the different weapons and options there, or they do them as pre-assembled miniatures. So if you don't want to worry about having to stick things together and all that kind of thing, you can just get the pre-assembled figures and you just print them out as they are, which is a great little touch with all the supports and everything you'd expect. So that's a kind of like rank and file there with the idolaters, but then you also have all the strange and weird characters. So you have things like the Swarm Carrier, who is definitely opened the wrong book at some point. I've seen enough tentacles to know where this is going.
Don't enter the restricted section.
Don't enter the restricted section. You've also got things like the Herald of Tet'o, which I think a lot of people will see as a kind of mirror to the Heretic Legions in the kind of style of the miniature, but obviously done with a little bit more of a Cthulhu-y, mythos-y, Lovecraftian twist. Love the kind of diving bell style armor design with the kind of squid tops to the helmet, which is a really cool touch.
One of the things I was focused on the whole time. It's a very noticeable, distinctive.
Really nice addition.
Although very much the herald to speak to humanity.
Yes.
It doesn't have a gribble.
Yeah, he does it through one of those bubble guns. You've also got things like the Abyss Beast. So this is sort of diving down into the slightly more of the mythos creations that they've added into the mix. So you've got big, weird monsters and all sorts of things you can throw onto the tabletop. The Krill Keepers, which is a really nice little touch because obviously krill, oceans, but you've got them coming in as a few more of your elite additions to the mix with a few melee weapons and ranged weapons as well. Again, you can get them as either a build kit or as pre-assembled miniatures, depending on which way you want to go. Love them with their big, slightly more heavily armored design, like the kind of almost Egyptian style weaponry that they've got too, which is a really nice.
I'm almost
addition,
getting like a Stargate Atlantis Wraith vibe off of them.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I like that they're going down that sort of more archaic route with their with a lot of the Trench Crusade stuff. You've got medieval meets World War One effectively. With this, you've got sort of a little bit more sort of ancient weaponry meets World War One, which I think is a really nice touch to kind of give the idea that maybe the Disciples of Tet'o and Tet'o itself have been sort of like always there beneath the surface, and it just took this kind of cataclysmic event with hell taking over and all that kind of thing to sort of bring it to the surface to try and take advantage of things. You've also got crazy things like the Abomination there, which is just wild. All the weapons you could ever think of. He's a very annoyed crab. You shouldn't have put him in the bucket.
Well, I mean, that's a hermit crab who's been working his way through a shipwreck.
Yeah. He's amassed all of the things he ever needed. One of my favorites as well is the Krill Matriarch. Absolutely love that with the multiple arms. The long extended fingers, that slightly more uncanny look to the character.
Very High Priestess vibes.
Yes, which is very nice. And then you have some things that are a little bit cuter. So you also have things like, I say cute, the Abyss Hounds, which are definitely going to sit on your face and eat your brains. Very head crabby.
You see, that one will paw up the side of your leg and then eat your kneecap off.
Yeah. No running away for you. Then you also have the Shambling Obsessed as well. So sort of people who have been twisted and corrupted by the darkness of Tet'o. As you can see, loads of really cool models, really fun models in there. They'd be really quick and easy to paint as well, I think. I think you could do a really good job on these with speed paints and weathering and all that kind of stuff, especially with the armor, doing that kind of really nice kind of distressed, weathered, rusted effect.
Get some verdigris up on there.
Lots of verdigris and that kind of thing as well, yeah. And of course, for the skin, you could just go really pale. Do that kind of drowned victim type thing as well with some blues and things mixed in there.
Do like a deep purple around the eyes.
Deep purple around the eyes, yeah, that'd be really
Smoke
cool.
on the water.
Yes. That's what heralds their approach, yeah. And then some really nice stretch goals and add-ons, of course, as you might expect from a Kickstarter campaign. And as I mentioned, this is effectively a force that can be used to represent the Heretic Legions on the tabletop, but with a twist. But I love you've got a sea mine. It's great. It's like
like I said, they're environmentalists. They're getting all the crap out of the water.
It's the bomb witches.
Bomb witches. Yeah.
With a twist, which is really cool. So yeah, all of these guys effectively can be used as Heretic Legion, but there is a PDF that the folks at DakkaDakka have worked on with some people in the community to create a set of rules that will allow you to effectively just drop them into your games. And there's also a few sort of like special things in there as well to kind of give them that extra mythos-y, Cthulhu-y twist as well. So if you are interested in sort of diving in and using them in your actual games, they've done all that for you. And of course, things will expand and grow as they build up the collection as well, I would expect, which is in keeping with the kind of community spirit of Trench Crusade and everything as well. So a really fun little Kickstarter, I think, here. That will be great for those people who are maybe looking at Trench Crusade, but not entirely convinced by the aesthetic of some of the warbands. This, if you are a massive Mythos fan, I think is something you definitely need to go and pick up. And of course, if you go down the 3D printing route, there's the chance to get yourself a lot of files that you could just print endless amounts of and use them in all sorts of other games. I know that they've already said that they will do stuff for, you could easily nail these onto one-page rules and all that kind of thing if you wanted to as well, which is really cool. So
very nice.
Yeah, lots of really fun stuff in that one for folks to check out.
Sweet to the beat. already funded, already smashed through a couple of stretch goals.
Oh, yes.
And you've got a whole 18 days left on it. So if you fancy a bag of Tet'o, get in there. Fill your bits.
Well, box of Tet'o. All the Tet'o.
Yeah. Why is it Fatang flavoured?
we
I
could tell
think
you,
that's
but
the new one for prom cocktail.
Yeah.
then we just watch your brain dribble slowly out of your nose.
Yeah.
Like Garmin Bozier.
Oh, but they taste so nice.
I mean, I know Pringles has once you pop, you can't stop, but I think this is maybe a bit more-ish.
Could be. Could be from that neck of the woods. Right. I think we should take a look at some more news.
Even more news, bitches.
All right, then. We're back with more news, but we're going to stick with Trench Crusade, Justin.
Yes, so the folks at Hollow Crown are bringing some new delicious and wonderful trenchy miniatures for us in the form of the Cuneiform Order. So we have the Field Knights to kick things off, and so we've got our guy in the middle there, nice classic, armored up, broadsword, and then you've got his two mates the other side. It's just like, nah, mate, we like guns. What? He's clearly low man on the totem pole when he didn't get a gun.
Yeah. Or he's just so badass he doesn't need a gun. Yeah.
I get the sword because I'm a knight, and you peasants, you get the guns, which is the modern equivalent of bows. Peasants. So
do right.
Peasant things.
So there is a loss of honor the further away you can kill someone.
Yeah.
Could be that.
There must be like a curve, a diagram. But they are absolutely lovely, mixing that like World War aesthetic with the old medieval armor and stuff. And when they're painted, they just look absolutely divine.
Yeah, fantastic stuff.
Yeah. Now, I have to say, these are coming to Kickstarter soon, I believe, Ben?
Yep, so they'll be on Kickstarter probably next couple of months. It's a combined venture by the folks at Varus Miniatures and Infamous JT, and the sculpting of the figures has been done by the very, very talented Ari Nielsen, who is working with them to bring this to life. And essentially, it's sort of them looking to add another sort of string to the bow of Trench Crusade, effectively making them another kind of new Antioch edition in reality. If you're looking at it, especially when you can see the big guy at the back.
Yeah, I was about to mention him, that shadowy figure who's gigantic and is possibly carrying a Flammenwerfer of some form.
Yeah. And it's essentially them looking to add in a British theme, effectively, or an English theme to what's available for Trench Crusade. So obviously you can see that in the design of some of the officers and the look of a variety of the different characters. The helmet design, of course, as well, very reminiscent of the kind of British Tommy. And you've got the crosses, of course, on the helmets. Kind of,
you see, it's a blend of the old World War I helmet and like the old flat helms you used to have.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So combination of Kettle and Broody. And then if you were to paint those up with a nice red and then white.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You look like a modern roundabout.
So they've done miniatures for the Field Knights, as Justin was saying there, but also
and the Freemen
as well. Yeah. So these
which are more of your line and rank and file with the two guys with rifles, and then the one lad who's just like, no, we're in trenches. I need a shotgun.
Shotgun all the way.
Double barrel goodness and love.
Yeah, we've seen enough movies to know that shotguns deal with demons, the undead, pretty much anything. Shotgun's the way to go. So,
I mean, load it with silver pellets. You'll even get a werewolf
or salt. Learn from the Supernatural boys. But yeah. Really like the padded armor designs and the chainmail on effect, and then those boot wrappings around the bottom, the leg wrappings, are a really nice touch as well.
Get the patties on the go. It's nice. Jamie and Florian have got together to do this because it's a really distinctive look. The British First World War serviceman, and then everybody knows what a crusader looks like, and they've managed to slam them both together and still have something that is demonstrably World War One, but at the same time also demonstrably Crusade. It really has it. Even down to things like the
cross going through the helmet.
Through the helm to make the nose guard across the bridge of his nose.
Yeah.
And then
I
also
will say
feel that it's quite
the
handy for
details on the
spelling guns.
sculpts look, the details on the sculpts look nice and chunky. So for those of us who aren't, the best of painters are going to have an easier time. There's nice big chunky features that you can be pulling out.
Very cool.
It'll be interesting to see what way they turn out. Because I want to say, are these going to be metals?
I'm not sure. They haven't specified specific. They haven't specified specifically. Funnily enough,
I have a horrible feeling
Facebook
Jamie has
page,
told me, and it's gone clean out of my head, Jamie. Sorry.
But we'll be keeping an eye on this anyway in the news. So as more previews come out, we'll obviously talk about what they're doing with the project, and we'll probably come back to it when it's a Kickstarter campaign as well, and have a look at it in a little bit more detail. And you can see more of the miniatures and more of the paint stuff as well.
Poke him with a stick. Let's see if I
do
can
that.
have a chat with him.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And do it that
Although
way.
I will say that the weapon the monk is holding is very John Constantine.
It is, yes, actually. Yeah. The drum-fed crucifix-style shotgun. Very cool. Yeah.
Also works for Van Helsing.
It does. Yeah.
Either or.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. There's a lot to be said about giving somebody a dose of the Lord's own justice. I was Moldo. My favourite has got to be the officer.
He's so good.
I think it's just the smug look on his face.
He looks very posh and tough-like.
Demons, eh? Nothing to worry about. We'll be back in time for tea.
Someday
is there a little bit of flash art in there?
Could be. Depends how you paint him. His grandson will end up running unit for Doctor Who at some point in the future. Not bad. 5 rounds rapid. Taking gargoyles out. This is where it all started. Yeah, looking forward to seeing where this collaboration goes. Hopefully it won't be the only one between JT and Barris.
Yeah, well, if this goes well, I'm sure they'll do more of it. I mean, they've created their own little miniatures company, in fact, to make this happen. So it would be weird for Holocrown to not be more than just this, I suppose. So
there's such a breadth of nations and characterful things you can be exploring with this. The sky's your limit.
Yeah.
Although you're not allowed to take off. Trench is your limit. If you're in the sky, someone's going to shoot you down thinking you're a demon. Maybe you should be up there.
No, that's fair. I hadn't considered this.
Nobody wants to be in the air when the demons are running. Otherwise, you get 5 rounds rapid yourself. Benjamin, Darkwater. We all remember the Pirates of Darkwater. How connected to that is this?
Not at all.
My childhood.
It's epic fantasy in a way, I suppose. So you could always, put some pirates in there like that. A dashing guys, sailing through the seas. But yes, this is the full reveal for Warhammer Quest Darkwater. This was part of the fairly crappy live stream on Friday night, which had the worst audio in the world, but never mind. Honestly, it was diabolical, but never, billion pound company, I'm sure they could do this right. Regardless, anyway, I was quite excited about this. This was the big thing that was announced. So, Warhammer Quest Darkwater is going to be the next entry in the series. Obviously, before this, we've had Silver Tower, Shadows over Hammerhall, Blackstone Fortress, and then we had Curse City with all of its foibles, but Curse City as well. And this is the next entry into the series, where the storyline is you'll be diving in and taking on the role of a variety of heroes from the forces of order who have been sent to the Jade Abbey to rid it of the Nurgle pox. Now, we had seen 4 of the characters already, so we'd seen Edmark Valoran, Drolf Ironhead, my favorite, #Dwarden forever. Bren Tylis, who is a renegade saint, taking the armor of one of her forebears to go and reclaim the Jade Abbey. And then Inara Scion as well, who's a sort of water mage with her rather badass sword that is made of, as I pointed out, solidified water. And someone said, so ice then. I went, no, it's solidified water, which is cool.
So what, is Jello?
Yeah, Jello sword. She uses the Aqua Gyranus, the life force of the realm of life, to smite her enemies with a badass sword. Also, pretty nailed on for a Bretonian damsel. Just saying. Perfect for that. We also then got
stepping through a dungeon barefoot.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, I bet she'll be fine. will get poxed at all. We also got to see 3 new characters that were introduced as part of this, and these are very much more in the line of the Warhammer Age of Sigmar world, the Mortal Realms. So we had Kel'Thuzad, the Forest Prince. He has pledged that he will go and defeat the greatest creature that lives within the Jade Abbey, and so he's going to use his bow to go and do that. We also had my second favourite, Drashar Vaughn, who is the rampaging beast. So he comes from a tribe of shape changers from the realm of Gur.
Man-Bear-Pig.
Man-Bear-Pig. He is very Man-Bear-Pig, yes.
Patrick Duffy for a leg.
He should do. It's hidden in the boot.
Conversion opportunity.
Yeah. Looks really cool. Going to be fun seeing how he sort of like folds into the rest of this as well. And then last but not least, there is also Jacobus Vine, or Jacobus Vine, however you want to say it. I think
this is my favorite.
Yeah. Who's the Jade Wizard. So a very classic looking Jade Wizard in many respects, alongside his familiar there that you can see Whisper and a little tiny owl, which is cool. And again, barefoot in the dungeon, but I love how the staff kind of melds into the roots around him as if he's just using the world to fight back against his enemies, which is a really nice touch.
Yeah, so he's not walking in the dungeon, he's just growing a path for himself.
Yeah, it's growing a path, which is a super cool way of doing things. When you dive into the game, it is a 1 to 4 player game, so it's fully cooperative. And when you play, you will start off with Edmark, Drolf, Bren, and Inara, and then as you go through the campaign, you will unlock the ability to also include Kel'Thuzad, Drashar, and Jacobus as you're playing through the game, which is really nice. So they are all going to be picked up as you go through the game. Obviously, there's nothing to stop you just picking them up to begin with if you wanted to, and just playing around with them if you felt like going that way. Lovely design on all of these figures. I'm a big fan of what Games Workshop has done for Warhammer Sigmar. Probably has the best miniatures range next to Necromunda, perhaps. I think both of them are really stunning, and all this work they do on these characters is really nice. The only one I'm not massively into is Bren, but I just think it's just because of the way that it's posed, perhaps. We'll have to wait and see.
I quite like Bren because I love seeing just how worn and battered the armor is in the sculpt.
Yeah. I'm just not a fan of like the lantern hanging off the back and all that kind of thing. I think it looks a bit odd, but I'll see for myself.
What's it hanging off? Have they shown the side or rear view?
No, so it's kind of, I think it's like on a stick that is then bolted to the armor, which is a bit weird, but yeah, we'll see.
She looks very familiar. I mean, armor, cloak behind her, sword there. Have I seen this model before?
Might be
just a battle or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
It might just be a very common pose.
Yeah. No, it's not the it's the whole look of her.
Comments down below.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
have to
your answers on a postcard.
Yeah. Alongside the heroes, we also have a set of villains. So leading the way is Gelgus Pust, who was once a champion of the Jade Abbey and was whispers in his ears from Nurgle, Grandpappy Nurgle. Turned him into the champion that you see there. I really like the kind of crown of thorns around his head, which is a nice little touch to kind of like folkloric elements that come through from the realm of Gairan. And then you've got the twisted horns as well, which is kind of like a little bit of a sort of mockery of the Chthoni and the sort of the wood elves, the Sylvans of the mortal realms, which is a nice touch. Really like the screaming sword as well. There's a kind of old hammery touch, which I think is nice.
A lot of Nurgle stuff does have that flat tip, that like executioner style blade.
Yes, which I think is a really nice kind of like design aesthetic for them. You also have a couple of the kind of servants that are alongside Gelgus Pust. So you have Belga the Sistwist and Shaman Falhoof. So Belga the Sistwitch, she was one of the people within the abbey who craved power, and her alongside 2 of her sisters, 3 witches. What an interesting thing that is. All have been combined into one horrible creature. So you can see one of them's holding up the pot, another one is below her, and then she's at the top. So they've all been amalgamated into this horrible grub.
So
they formed a human centipede.
They did, yes.
Yeah, well, I mean, a play on the 3 kobolds in a trench coat.
You also have Shaman Falhoof there as well, who's going to be leading the Pestigors, which we'll have a look at in a little bit as well. There's also another champion, Mulgoth, that wasn't pitched in these particular images, but coming up. And then some of my favorites are actually the Cankerborn. So these are the new demons that they're getting in. Effectively, think of them as your trolls that you get in a Warhammer Quest game. They are the effect. What happens when Nurgle's rot and the canker of demon kind infects the land itself, and so they're effectively made of the swamp, And as you can see, you've got the big sort of like menhirs and stuff built into their bodies.
The henchstones.
The 3 heads of the plague bearers there as well. The big rusted weapons. Lots of really nice, again, sort of like folkloric fey touches in there as well, which I think is a really nice sort of addition there. And you've got the Blight Templars as well. So they're another addition. So these are going to be your big elite characters that you're going to be facing off against. A little bit of a kind of like nod to the Maggotkin of Nurgle and Nurgle in general and their kind of plague knights and stuff like that. So a really nice touch there too. 3 really cool, unique figures. And then you have a bunch of the kind of like rank and file that'll be the kind of stuff that you'll cut down as you're going through the dungeon. So you have the Pestigores, which I think are a really nice update to the classic Beastmen, or the Pestigores anyway, I suppose, of previous Warhammer editions. Love the kind of fact that you can see their kind of like skeletal faces beneath the hoods, all the like rotting sores and pustules and all that kind of thing is a really cool addition. And even though there's repeat sculpts, effectively, they think they've done enough to kind of mask that in places with the different choice of weapons and things. So really nice details on those two. Not overly detailed either, so I think they'll actually be quite fun to paint, quite easy to get to the table. And then last but not least, you also have the Pox Wretches. So these are those folks who have heard the call of Nurgle and the Jade Abbey, and so have blinded themselves with their cyclopean disc that sits across their faces, mirroring that of Nurgle itself. And this then heightens their other senses as they go around the Jade Abbey looking to kill anybody they can and sacrifice them to the great grandfather himself. So a nice little bit of sort of maraudery, Nurgly action in there as well. If you're looking to theme things, I should note all of this stuff will then have rules in the Maggotkin of Nurgle battle tome, so it has a dual purpose, which is quite cool. But with all of that said, there was some fun stuff that was kind of revealed for Warhammer Quest, or I've kind of divined through the dark waters myself. So you'll notice that it's, instead of it being tiles, it's now a map book. So what they've done with this is they've kind of used the Jaws of the Lion thing, but also you will have seen this come up in other games from like the likes of Plaid Hat and that kind of thing. So there's a book which will come with, I think it's 32 maps or something like that. And each of those has effectively been designed so that you don't have to use dungeon tiles, you don't have to do loads of setup. You just open the book and you play out in these different locations throughout the Jade Abbey. These maps are then modified by the cards you see to the right. So those cards will determine what quests and what things are happening on those locations. So even though you will only have a finite number of maps, it's then modified by the cards to make it so that you can keep coming back to them and play them different ways. They've also said, and this is a Games Workshop-ism, so take it with a pinch of salt, that you can play a quest in 30 minutes. I don't think that's probably going to happen. They said you could play Spearhead in 40 minutes. No.
It's like a boar spear.
Yeah. It's like stuck into the back, yeah.
I will say, I think the most annoying thing about this game is going to be that map book, because that's not how books open up and sit.
Yeah, it is. They've designed it specifically so that it sits like that. Yeah.
I'll be interested to see a photo of the actual thing.
They showed it off on stream, and they showed how it sits flat and everything. So they have done the work on it.
It'll be interesting to see.
Is it just a map book, or is it narrative, blah, 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 flip page, map?
So that book is just maps.
Just maps.
And then there's another book that is your full rule book and your quick start guide and that kind of thing, which will have all the narrative, and then that's also on the cards at the same time. So the other thing they've changed is you can see the character cards. Now, previous versions of Warhammer Quest had you doing the dice allocation system where you put that onto spots that would then allow you to do actions. And that's something that's carried through from Silver Tower all the way through to Curse City. With this one, they seem to have gone to a more standard dungeon crawler style aesthetic. So rather than the dice being your action pool, but also your health, that's now a separate health tracker on the side.
Yeah.
And then you just seem to have a standard set of actions. So you've got like move, attack, and that kind of thing on the side. And then the sort of like your armor value, your armor save, your attack value, the damage you do, and that kind of, and your special abilities there too. So I think that's going to be a nice little touch, because I wasn't a fan of the dice allocation system. So this should be more elegant, hopefully.
I don't know if you can read that. That first number is D6. The second one is 5+, and the last thing is 10. So it's
so I think that's your health, your save, and then what you're rolling to attack, probably, I would think. Like a D6 to attack, which would make sense with with her. But then, of course, you can see some dice to the side as well. So I'm not sure how that's going to work with those custom dice and that kind of thing. But you also seem to have an initiative tracker at the top of the book, which is sort of like the different heroes and their symbols and then the monsters.
And a time tracker as
and
well.
A time tracker on the side.
How long you get to play, how many rounds.
Yeah, 5 rounds to play through a quest. I think it's a great step in the right direction for them to actually make a Warhammer quest that you will actually play. Because one of the things that gets in the way of a lot of people is having to paint a bunch of models and then the setup time taking half an hour for you to actually play the game. Having it done through the map book is going to make it a lot more approachable. Obviously, the proof is in the pudding, but this is getting a sort of like hesitant tick from me to see what they do with this one.
I'm curious. I do like you're getting a nice amount of like chunky, cool miniatures that are all really individualized, which I like. Yes. So there's enough variation in there, so I'm not going to get bored.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by this one. And as a fan of Jaws of the Lion and map books and things like that, I'm definitely on the...
Can we go back to the bit where you've completely ignored the fact that there are 4 little Mary Lou
Maya Kelpies.
Mark Kelps.
Yeah. So yes, they are again sort of little tiny spirits. Yeah.
Dead,
you have to feed them, otherwise they'll ruin your house.
Yeah, so. It's like that time we went to Center Parks and I finally learned that baby deer can actually lick their own eyeballs.
Fair enough.
That was weird.
The more you know.
Yeah. So if they show up at your house, you have to beat them in a battle of wits and rap, or they come in and drink all your beer.
They do.
That's how that goes. They are the cutest thing I've seen.
Yeah.
I love these.
Yeah,
but then
they're gorgeous.
I've already got some 28mm Mary Lou stuff from other companies, so maybe it's a thing. I just like that look, that aesthetic. They're interesting as far as just culty types go. I quite like them. They've got a very, I suppose, peasant cultist feel to them. That
yes, a bit more Mordheim-y.
We are armed with what we have found.
Yeah.
And then I really like them. I'm a big fan of all the designs in this.
I know a lot of people were going on about the Pestigores, because I think this is the first time they've had Pestigores in forever. The last ones were all metal.
Yeah, in Age of Sigmar, at least, the only other variant of a Beastman has been the Zangors that they did for Silver Tower, and then obviously for Disciples of Zench and things. So, it's nice to see the Pestigores in there and Beastmen not dead in the Mortal Realms.
Yes. So, time will tell whether or not they come back
I'm excited.
Mass.
Well, I mean, it's worked out. We know we're going to get technically flawless kits that will work.
Yeah. But, I mean, the big thing there is that the game actually is something people want to revisit and play, because
fair.
For so many times they've done things like this, and people have looked at it just as an opportunity to get their hands on the models because the game hasn't been up to snuff, or the game's been good and then just went nowhere. They have a terrible tendency just to let it wither on the vine.
Not to dwell in Darkwater for too much, but they've done really good job with Spearhead, and Warhammer Underworld is really good, and Age of Sigmar is a really nice place as well. So I really hope the team that developed those games has had a hand in this, because I think it could be good. I'm just crossing my fingers. So we'll see.
Fair.
Always cross your fingers.
Keep an eye out for more on that, because I'll definitely keep talking about it.
Yes.
Whether we want him to or not.
Yeah.
Oh, we do, Ben. We do. Right. Just uno little tiny little squiffle of a teeny downsy winesy little thingsy winsy to roll out the show. It's barely even news, but at the same time, it's very much news. So, out of nowhere, Studio Tomahawk announced that their first supplement for Five for Victory is on its way. It will be with us in December. Right
around the corner.
So
time for Crimbo.
We didn't even have time to sit down and enjoy ourselves before all of a sudden there's more stuff coming. This first supplement will be, weirdly enough, early war for World War II. Although this time round it's 28mm and it is small scale skirmish. So the book itself will contain a variety of army lists to allow you to recreate small scale skirmish from the beginning of the Second World War, and by that I mean from 1939 to 1943. That's the bracket they're going for. So it's not just your France and Germany, or Germany into Poland, things like that. It includes your North Africa. It includes the very early aggression in and around the Pacific War, including, I suppose, Japan kicking off with not just America, but also into, I think they had a conflict in Russia as well. So you'll be able to do all of these sort of little interesting and unique fights that I think are more interesting than late war. Late war, everybody starts to look at big tanks and vehicles, and I think in 28 mil,
Yes.
Yeah,
I think 28 mil suffers from
grind.
that. I absolutely hate seeing large vehicles in 28 mil. It's not works for me at all in any way, shape, or form. And I think 5 for Victory as a system works particularly well. It does have vehicle rules in there, but if you're going to be playing those, then toning everything back a bit, having your more lightly armored vehicles with smaller weapons on them makes it a more accessible and realistic
It
concept.
tends to balance it a lot
6x4.
better, I think, than other games.
Yeah. As you can see, they've announced that there's going to be some of the smaller nations accounted for, the likes of Belgium, Poland, Finland, as well as US. Obviously, being 43, that'll be either Pacific or North Africa. Very excited to see what they do with the campaign system. Mind you, they have in the past done a couple of campaign systems for Saga, for example. So we've seen the original campaign system, Agent Wolf, which was first edition, which was very heavily narrative, incredibly heavily narrative based. The Lemez system they brought in for Age of Invasions / Book of Invasions, depending when you grabbed it, was a more defined campaign insofar as it was only really supposed to be played between the Romans and Britons, I think. So even though the rules allowed you to play games across the fall of Roman era, and there are a lot of different lists in there, the likes of Saxons and Picts and Irish and blah, blah, blah. They specifically went, no, this campaign makes sense if it's played historically between these two nations.
Right, yeah.
So we don't know which way this is going to go. I have a sneaking suspicion they might go for the more defined campaign system rather than a broad narrative one that allows you to play any nation against any nation, because then you will end up with Germans against Germans at some point, because every group or club will have multiple players playing the same list. But I hope they go for something that's a bit more strategically defined in that regards. If you haven't already seen 5 for Victory, it has some interesting little choices. Is 5 is your target number, but you modify the dice type. So dice can go all the way up to D12s or down to D4. No, D6 smallest. So D6, D8, D10, D12. But you're always looking for that target number 5. So your modifiers and the like come in, or weapon types. So bigger weapons like machine guns might be rolling 3D12 to begin with. So it's a nice system to play with, similar sort of size as Chain of Command / Bolt Action as far as the amount of miniatures on the tabletop. And it's just nice to see that they're pushing a bit further now with what they're going to be doing for it. Obviously, they've got form as far as Saga goes for opening up different avenues within the game. The rule set itself is solid. So I'm glad to see this coming. If you're not in the EU, then you can pick it up from North Star. They've already got the pre-order up, I think. And if they haven't, it won't be far away, because I've seen Nick has already posted / reposted the video that Studio Tomahawk have put out.
He's always on it.
So he's on like a car bonnet. So you'll be able to grab it from there, and potentially, I imagine Gripping Base being the translator for them will have 5 for Victory as well.
I would think so.
Check to see. I just picked mine up from North Star last time round. But if you're into your World War II, definitely worth checking out. If you got 5 for Victory and you've missed out this little nugget, then probably grab that, get in there, fill your boots, do something weird.
Cool.
go and be terrible in North Africa with the Americans as they arrive and didn't know what they were doing for the first year or so. It was like, what? What is this warfare? This is terrible. They were horrendous. Took them a while to bed in and work out how to fight. So yeah, it's a very different prospect when you play with some of the nations outside the regular. Obviously, Americans, well-oiled machine in Western Europe whenever they land, but in North Africa, not so much. Quite a lot of sand in that oil.
Yeah, they were cutting their teeth and learning what to do.
Yeah, likewise, being able to throw Finland in there and do some Winter War stuff should be quite interesting as well. Throw them up against some Soviets, try and beat back the Red Menace. But yeah, looking forward to that and to see where they go in the future. Anyway, like I say, just a little tiny gem, a little cherry on top of your
started with early war and with early
Knickerbocker glory. We bookend everything so well. Stuck together with the finest DJ glue. That's us. All right, I think that wraps us up for this week. Don't forget to start your TerrainFest projects.
Get to work.
Or I will kill you. We'll be back next week for more of the same, or on Sunday over at OnTabletop.com, where you can join us for our XLBS with our Cult of Games members. And if you're not already a cultist, you can join us for a 30-day trial. Until next week, have a great week of gaming. Bye-bye.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.